French President Emmanuel Macron has told Chinese President Xi Jinping that China and France must overcome their differences during high-stakes talks in Beijing on Thursday. The meeting took place at the Great Hall of the People as Macron began a 3-day visit focused on economic cooperation and the war in Ukraine. Macron, who arrived in China immediately after meeting Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky in Paris, is pushing Beijing to pressure Russia toward a ceasefire. But it remains unclear whether China agreed to anything concrete. EU leaders, including Macron, have accused China of providing economic and military components that indirectly support Russia's war effort, a claim Beijing strongly denies. China has never condemned Russia's 2022 invasion of Ukraine. Responding to Macron's remarks, Xi Jinping called for making the comprehensive strategic partnership between China and France more stable. He also spoke of working with France to exclude any interference, a phrase analysts say likely refers to Taiwan, which remains a central issue in China's foreign policy.
Dear President Xi Jinping, dear President Macron, distinguished guests, cooperation agreement to address population aging. To sign the administrative arrangement on the mutual recognition of diplomas and the declaration of intent on cooperation on the aging of the population, social protection and social welfare. Please exchange documents. Now I invite Minister Monique Barbu and Minister Gan, the Honourable Minister of Natural Resources, as well as the letter of intent on. Please exchange. First witness the signing of 12 texts. Applied Research Cooperation Agreement. Please exchange. We agreed to do a good job in the following 4 areas. The first is to promote mutual political trust. No matter how the external environment changes, the two sides should always show the independence and strategic vision of major powers and understand each other on issues involving each other's core interests and major concerns. Mutual support. The two sides agreed to consolidate traditional cooperation in aerospace, nuclear energy, etc., expanding the green economy, the digital economy, biomedicine, cooperation in emerging fields such as artificial intelligence. The two sides agreed to promote the balanced development of bilateral economic and trade relations. Expand two-way investment to provide a fair, transparent, non-discriminatory and predictable business environment for enterprises of the two countries. Thank you, President Macron. Reporters of the joint meeting between the heads of state of the two countries have come to an end.
Reporters note that Taiwan would be a priority for Beijing, especially as China is currently locked in a diplomatic dispute with Japan over remarks on Taiwan's security. China is also expected to urge France, as an influential EU member, to reaffirm its commitment to the One China policy. Trade was a major focus of Thursday's discussions. The European Union is seeking more investment opportunities, as its trade deficit with China has surged nearly 60% since 2019. Macron urged China to work with the G7 to build a fairer global economic framework, rather than one based on what he called survival of the fittest. Following the meeting, both sides signed 12 cooperation agreements covering areas such as population aging, bilateral investment, nuclear energy, and panda conservation. On Friday, Xi is expected to accompany Macron to Sichuan province, where two giant pandas previously on loan to France were recently returned.